Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Sarah, and this is the second episode of DM Talks, a wellness podcast that aims to promote healing and assist well-being, whether that be physically, mentally, or spiritually. Ultimately, we just want to be seen in our entirety, and this podcast hopes to show listeners how multifaceted they are. We are all at the center of our own universe, so why don't we do more to better our own existence? So today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Because my podcast is all about life and just essentially being, I want to talk about different moods, emotions, etc. throughout life. And I want to talk today about confidence. I have invited an amazing friend as my guest for today. They are a baddie. They are a stylist extraordinaire. They are I know myself, you can't tell me nothing energy.
Hey.
And I would like to say welcome to my friend Kadem. Hi, Kadem.
Hi. Bonjour, everybody. I speak zero French. I don't even know why I introduced myself in French.
How are you today?
You know, I'm good. I'm feeling aligned. You know, I feel cute or whatever. But let's get into it.
Yes. What have you been doing today?
This.
So, to be fair, it's quite early.
I was going to say not to timestamp or anything, but it's like the first thing I've done today. Let's just say that.
Well, but think about that. Look at you productive, doing stuff before 12.
I try.
I've had breakfast today.
I'm screaming.
I've just been chilling, but it's fun. We're here, we're ready, and I'm really excited to get into it, so why not? So the first thing I want to talk about is the divine. If you don't know what this segment is about, I'll tell you again. The divine is basically shining a light on a good thing that's happened. So whether that's going to see a play or going to see reading a new book, we just want to talk about some good things that's happening in our life right now. So today, I want to nominate my friend Alice Maya Swift. Bop. Yesterday, she had an exhibition. She had her first solo exhibition curated by another good friend, Maisie. And also there was a DJ there. That was Alfie, aka known as Memphis, and it was a photo.
There was a DJ there?
Yeah, there was a DJ there.
Shit.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's Alfie.
I didn't realise.
Yeah, he hosts his own night and stuff.
Sick.
Yeah, so he's really cool. But
music slaps. Shout out to you, Alfie.
literally. My friend Alice, she did a photography and poetry exhibition. It was called Absence and Absence.
Absence and absinthe.
Yeah, as in the 60% drink and then absence.
Yes, in the opposite order.
Order. So the absence and absence.
Absence and absinthe. We're going through it today, guys.
We're going through it. Okay, it's fun.
It was a long night.
But anyway, there was poetry, there was photography. It was just such a beautiful thing. I was able to see essentially her work over a period of like months. I think it actually took her a year to do.
Yeah.
And just seeing it all to come to fruition.
Do you know what I mean?
Like it was a full-on exhibition.
Yeah.
I actually got one of her. No, we both did. We got
the book.
We got the book. We got her zine,
Yes.
which looks incredible, by the way.
So sick.
But then also she had these limited T-shirts.
Ooh.
So I'm wearing one today. I'm actually going to turn around. So if you guys are maybe watching this, you'll be able to see it.
Should I set the scene?
Don't worry. What do you mean set the scene?
So, like, as in tell them what it looks like.
No,
Okay.
good. Okay, yeah.
So listeners, so it's a white T-shirt, and at the back, so you know usually like the design's printed on the front. This sorry, it's not working. The design's printed on the back of the shirt, and it's one of the photos from Alice's exhibition. So it's super cool. It's how do I describe this, Sarah? Because even I'm like, what's it giving? What's it giving us?
We're giving you sass. We're giving you mood.
No, what's on the actual photo? Like, describe the actual photo. It's basically like an art.
Yeah. Well, it's Maisie's bum, isn't it?
Oh, is it Maisie?
Yeah.
Oh,
Maisie's
right.
bum, but she's
Go
like
Maisie.
crawling away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
but yeah, it's very fierce and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I think it's super cool, and I'm really excited. They're limited edition as well from this exhibition / zine launch. So yeah, I'm just really proud of her. I was able to get the T-shirt, and I think it's going to look very cute. Hence why I'm wearing it today. But so well done, Alice. Props to Alice. Let's
Honestly,
clap.
it was so sick. And what was so cool as well was like, you know, obviously you and Alice live together, and it's like every time I come over to like visit and stuff, you know, I'll see like some shots and stuff of things.
Yes.
But it's like to see it all come together in this
Exactly.
really cute, cool way. Also, shout out to Maisie who curated this, right?
Yes.
She curated the thingy yesterday. Like the way it was curated and stuff and put together by like Alice and, you know, everybody, and like it was just so cool. It was so
beautiful,
sick.
like literally,
so sick.
even to the point of like, I love just how much detail went into it. So like, let's say there was photos, like taken from various angles.
Yeah.
But let's say there was this one photo that was like, I'm not sure if it was Alice or I don't know whoever the individual was, but they were like crawling out of the earth.
Oh yeah.
That picture was based on the floor.
Yes.
And then she had other like opposing pictures like hanging with the wire upside down, but the wire was transparent, so it literally just looked like it was floating.
Yes.
And I just thought it was so beautiful how it was orchestrated. So props.
Honestly.
Props.
And that poem in Spanish as well. Sorry. I keep gushing about it, but it was so sick. But yeah, it was so good.
No, there's a poem called Under the Almond Tree, and it was in Spanish. Canaan speaks Spanish, and they were reading it. And then and then I remember you were reading it, and I was there like, because there's a translated version like next to it, and I was like, oh, does it mean this one? You're like, how do you know? But it was cute. It was cute. Would you like to nominate anything for the divine?
Oh, for the divine.
Yes, nominate for the divine.
Gosh. Okay.
It could be yourself. It could be something you saw. It could be like you being a baddie. Like what else?
Oh my gosh. Okay. What do I want to nominate for the divine? I want to nominate all the good friends I have in my life because I don't tell them enough. Like people like you, like I can't. There's like a long list of names, but like you all know who you are.
You know who you
Just
are.
the people that kind of uplift me, keep me sane. But special shout out to Joella because I know she'll hear this because she will listen to this. But Joella, who's just been keeping me lifted in the past week or two.
Keep you lifted?
I think she just affirms me in ways that I didn't know that I needed to be affirmed before meeting her. Because we've been friends for about five years now, nearly. But our friendship just keeps going to new levels all the time. It's just like we're growing together and we're holding space for each other to grow and heal.
I think that's
it's just
one
amazing.
beautiful thing about friendship. Like you accept each other in your whole selves,
Exactly.
and then
the good and the bad.
See, you have growth from it. Like I've got this other friend, shout out Myla, bop, and like me and her are completely different.
Yes.
However, we've known each other for such a long time, so we've just evolved with each other.
Yes.
And regardless of our interests or opinions or etc., we still have that safe space for each other. Because I might not get what you're doing, but you might not get what we're doing. But there's always going to be that respect there.
Yeah, because you hold space for each other.
Exactly. There's always that trust there. Like I know that I could be doing a madness. I'll come to her and then she'll be like, Sarah, cut your shit out. Or she could be like, Sarah, back your corner. Literally. Like I think having those people that like sort of know you and like sort of appreciate you, but in your whole is so comforting for your well-being.
Do you know what I mean? Honestly. And while I'm here as well, because she's going to hear this too, shout out to you, Panache, and Aminat, Chidima, and John as well.
Yes.
Love you guys. And Nicole, shout out to you too. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the
No, I'm gassed. Like, I think I've been having a really, really good week. Wait, no, let me be Snoop Dogg. I like to thank me.
Hey.
I like to thank when I pick myself up again. I like to thank.
Snoop Dogg is a mood, an actual mood.
I love that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's this video where he's accepting an award and he literally just thanks himself like for a good like maybe 3 minutes.
That is a mood.
It's beautiful.
That's a flex.
Like,
I love
you need
that.
to know yourself. Do you know what I mean?
That.
I like to thank me for getting out of bed in this morning. I like me for being my own best friend. I think it's so important because you need to have a good relationship with yourself.
That's
like,
so true.
who else is going to chill with you as much as you do?
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's true, honestly.
We're a vibe,
you
innit?
know? Come on, that confidence.
But yeah, no, I've been having a really good week. I've been learning a lot throughout work and friends, and I like how the podcast is like it's all coming together.
Yes.
I've got a 10 out of 10 sound engineer team.
Hey. Who we're just waving at now.
We're just waving at right now. And it's nice because like I feel like as I'm growing, I'm just meeting more people that are like more aligned with the interests and my sort of things that I like. So like it's like we're all just growing together.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's
it's
energetic alignment speaking.
Yeah, and
we like that.
It's funny that you say energetic alignment because so recently we talk about this more. We keep on seeing like numbers and synchronicities.
This happened in the car on the way here, by the way, guys.
Literally.
Twice.
Actually, I'm just gonna get it up on my phone. The first one we saw was 777, and then we saw 999.
Yes, on a
I've
card
actually
number
got
plate.
it on my phone now, and I'm going to read a little bit out for you.
Go for
So
it.
basically, it's like when you see a number and then there's a message behind that number. So a really common one is 111 or 1111, and that's like you're on the right path, good things, etc. And yeah, so today we saw 999. 999 says. It brings the message that certain aspects of your life are coming to a close and or an important phase of your cycle is is ending. Trust that this is happening for karmic lessons, which will become evident in the very near future. It is clearing the way for you to fully pursue your life purpose and soul mission as your soul destiny dictates. Trust that all the information, guidance, and assistance you will need upon your path will be supplied by the angels and universal energies. Angel number 999 is a strong message to fully devote yourself to your life's mission without delay. Listen to the guidance from the angels if feeling any fears or doubts about your life path. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
How does that make you feel, Kano?
That speaks to me, especially the 999 one. Like, you know what I mean? Like that, that one. That's on time for me. That message is on time for me.
Why is it on time for you?
We'll get into it in the episode, but it was on time.
I want to know now. Tell me. Yeah, go.
So I don't know. It's just for me, I've been kind of like, you know, kind of feeling a bit, I don't know, just in a weird space, because I know it's like I'm evolving in certain ways that I didn't have to maybe before a couple of weeks ago. And for the 999 one, it's like, for me, it's just kind of holding space for my personal growth as a person.
Yes.
It's just like I'm feeling a shift. I feel a shift.
Yes to development. Yes to personal growth. Like, I think 909 is important to me because, like, over the past year or so, well, like, I definitely have gotten more closer to, like, practicing various forms of spirituality in the past, like, year.
Same.
However, like, implementing that has really come about in the past, like, well, I guess since I finished uni, which was, like, what am I saying? It was last July. And, you finish uni, you're in this period of uncertainty, and now I'm sort of implementing all the things that I've learned since then.
Right.
I'm chasing my dreams. I'm going for... I'm finding hobbies again. I'm just doing what feeds my soul.
Ooh, what hobbies are you finding?
So I'm getting into various things. So I actually was talking about this last week. So I was making stuff, as in, like, products, like, as in like, I want to learn more about making, like, balms, face masks, etc., etc. But that's really, really exciting.
We could talk about that afterwards, because I have something for you.
I love the power of essential oils, honestly. Another hobby of mine, I read a lot more. I go for runs now.
Yes.
I'm cooking a lot more. What else to do? Oh, actually, one thing that I do want to do, I'm going to book it next week, is join a class, a dance class. We have to do it in heels.
Oh my God, that'd be so sick.
Yes,
so
like...
sick.
I think it's beautiful. I just want to learn how to dance like Beyonce. Can you imagine?
That'd be so sick.
I
see that for you. I see that for
and
you.
I think it's such a, like, an empowering movement. Like, I've got quite a few friends that I follow on Instagram. And one of my friends, actually... So one of my friends, she did, like, modern, ballet, like, contemporary. She went to dance school.
Was it me?
For those who don't know, Kanam used to be a
dancer, yeah.
Yeah, feel for it.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll get there. Continue.
But so basically, they did all of that dancing. And they're a very, like, I'd say, quite an innocent, like, very, like, just sweet-scented person.
Maybe it's not me.
And then,
I'm joking.
And then since they left dance school, they are doing that kind of dancing, and I'll see them putting their videos on, and I'm like, my friends, like, sliding into their DMs so much, because I'm just literally like, wow, look at you. And she's like, Sarah, I feel so much confident, I'm growing, and all of this. And that's something that I really, really care about. And I think it's so, like, well, again, empowering, you know, like, so, like... Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to actually take this opportunity to delve straight into confidence.
Okay.
So, we'll go into...
segue. She's a hostess. Continue.
We'll go into decoding the messes. So, decoding the messes is essentially the section or the segment where we unpack something that we consider mess. However, today, because we're talking about emotions, moods, etc., we're sort of going to unpack what confidence means to us. That's something that everybody has to navigate, regardless of your age, regardless of the industry that you work in. I want to ask you, what does confidence mean to you?
Ooh, confidence to me is being comfortable with your sense of self when you're by yourself. So it's when you don't have to put on that theatre mask in front of, like, a group of people, in front of an audience. When you go to bed at night, do you feel balanced? Do you feel aligned? That person. I always go by kind of, like, when, let's say, like, for instance, last night we went out and stuff like that. Like, there's obviously the package of Canaan that people get when they, you know, see me and interact with me, but then they might not see who I am or how I perceive myself to be, or how I don't know how I am when I'm by myself. Obviously, they can't. So it's like, I think confidence is kind of like, you know, I don't know, who you are when you're by
who you
when
are
you're
when you're
alone,
by your
yeah,
own self.
yeah.
No, that's interesting because like when you like look at like various forms of spirituality or various forms of like I don't even like various forms of psychology. You talk about your shadow self, and essentially that's
Yes.
like you when you're alone. That's the shadow part of you that you
Yeah.
don't like showing to the world.
Exactly.
Do you know your horoscopes? Do you know your moon?
Yes, Virgo.
So Virgo, so that would essentially suggest that your moon is like your shadow self. Your moon is who
Exactly.
you are at
Yeah,
home.
exactly.
And Virgo moon, what does that entail?
I don't actually know. I can pull up that coaster out real quick.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna
show
actually
you.
get it up.
But I don't know, like, because like when I've spoken to people about it, people have such like conflicting views of what it kind of even means to, you know what I mean, have a moon sign or what the meaning of a moon sign is. Because I personally believe that it's who are you when you're alone?
Yeah.
Who are you when there's nobody else in the room? It's just you and your thoughts. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. I'm
got
not
it
sure.
up.
Okay.
So
what's Virgo moon? Talk to me.
Moon Virgos. Oh, actually, I should probably talk about what moon
Okay.
Virgos are first
Okay,
off.
go on.
So, essentially, if you've done a birth chart reading with your horoscopes, it addresses or takes into consideration where were the planets are like pinpointed when and where you were born. So let's say my birthday is on the 21st of March, or I was born in this area, what time I was born at this area. You have to give all that information onto your birth chart reading, and then it tells you what your your sun sign, your moon sign, various planets. So let's say your Venus is controlled by, no, I think Venus controls like the way you love, and my Venus is in
romanticism,
Pisces.
yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
my Venus is in Pisces, so that means I'm very like sensitive. I want to be like well, not just sensitive, it's more like you're sensitive, you're it's the water element, so it's very like emotional, very like you need to be nurtured,
Yeah.
etc. But I've actually just got your Virgo moon up. So
Okay.
basically Virgo moon, so moon means who you are when you're by yourself,
Yeah.
but it also is like the most close to you. So if you were to look at your horoscopes, the main three that people look at is your sun is who you are generally, your moon, which you are like by yourself or where you who you are at home, and then your rising is how you're perceived to people. It says here that moon Virgos are at home in routine and show control freak traits when thrown off balance. The lunar nature, when it's expressed through Virgo, seeks purification, well-being, and order. The Virgo moons I know are hyper alert to their surroundings, making them high maintenance travelers.
Sounds about right.
What does it say for you?
I think for me, like kind of bridging that with like, you know, the whole confidence thing, that hyper awareness and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is something that I definitely like when I'm by myself and stuff like that after a social interaction. I kind of think, oh, did I go about that well?
Yeah.
Did I handle that well? Like, how was I with that? Like,
So quite practical and rational, like with the way that you dress things.
Yeah, like not even that, but like when, let's say, I'm in like a social setting and stuff, and then I go home, you know, after the thing, after the social event or whatever, when I'm kind of unpacking the day's events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, did I handle that well? Da 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 da. And I feel like sometimes that does affect my confidence in a way. So when, you know, earlier I made that point about confidence is kind of like how stable do you feel in your sense of self when you're alone? I feel like that hyper awareness does affect that for me. Like it does knock that off for me, but I try to like manage it, you know, where and when I can. But yeah.
I mean, it's something like, I guess it's something to do with growth as well. Like, I think with me, I find confidence in my intuition. Nobody can tell me nothing when I trust in my intuition.
Period.
I literally think that I'm like a gift.
Yeah.
Like when I'm like, I won't tell you I told you so, but I'll be thinking it. And that's when I'm like, oh, there's confidence in that.
Yeah, like,
you know?
the thing is, like, I definitely feel like confident in like my intuition and like my gut feeling about things, because like, especially being from the Caribbean, a lot of us like would have grown up hearing like, you know, parents, grandparents say things like, oh, their spirit doesn't take to people. Or, do you know what I mean? 'Cause
My mum was like, I don't like that energy.
do you know what I mean?
100%.
Exact same thing. That's the exact same thing.
My mum literally could look at someone and was like, no. Like, she I don't know how she does it, but she does.
Yeah, and to be fair, like,
You trust her?
the spirit never lies,
No,
honey.
actually, then that's mad. How is it? Sorry, we're going completely off topic
Yeah.
now.
Go
But
on.
how is it that your mum, or well, not so just your mum, sorry,
Anybody, yeah.
but like your primary caregiver, your elder, whatever, they know which friend is the wrong one.
It's so true.
Why? How?
I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's discernment more so than anything else. It's being able to tune that kind of spirit of discernment, like kind of knowing what's for you and what isn't for you, and
Yeah.
who isn't for you and who is for you. But I don't know. I guess I draw confidence from that kind of
I guess like
space.
with
But
me, I think of it as if okay, so let's say there's a new situation where I've met people and I've seen an individual act in a way that's similar to someone that I've left.
right.
That makes me that heightens my confidence and trusting my intuition about that person not serving me.
Okay, right.
If that makes sense.
No,
Ooh,
no,
I'm just
yeah,
pushing
yeah,
this
yeah.
thing.
I think like with that, it's like learning from past experience and stuff. But what's so funny is there's a really, I mean, obviously I know you're aware of her, but a lot of people aren't.
Go
But
for
Mariam
it. Go for it.
Hasnaya,
Yes,
she's
tell the people about her. Tell the listeners.
She's like my favorite like energy worker ever, and she always talks about kind of like bringing things that have happened in the past into your present.
Yes.
And trying not to enmesh the two. So keeping your past, your present, and your future totally separate. They're separate timelines. You know what I mean? And for me, like when I go into situations now, I try to be as present as I possibly can be. I try not to bring in things from the past to be like, oh, this person did that before, which is why they're doing it now. I'm trying to kind of meet them where they are.
Yeah.
And there's a certain comfort that I get in that.
Yeah.
That helps me kind of trust that I'm making the right decision at the time.
Do you have any tools or any like tips to finding that presence?
Not really, because I'm still finding it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a journey. Yeah, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's just meeting people where they are. That's always that's the black bottom line of it all. Like meet people where they are. Like for instance, let's say you and I go out. I don't know. Yesterday we have the best time, but then today my energy's slightly off. Don't take it as a reflection of something that happened that's tied to what happened yesterday. Yeah. Just meet me where I'm at today. Do you know what I mean? And take it at that. But I think, for me, it's one of those things that's like just being as present as possible. It's kind of like where I kind of, draw strength from in a way nowadays.
There's actually a book. Let me just remind myself of the author's name.
Yeah.
It's called The Power of Now. And it's like a best-selling, like, oh, wait, I'm just Googling this real quick. Eric Tolle. It's called The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment. So this book is intended to be a guide for day-to-day living and stresses the importance of living in the present moment and transcending your thoughts of the past or the future.
Yes.
So I read this book maybe a year or so ago, and it definitely taught me how to keep present.
Okay.
And whether that is through meditation or whether that's from grounding myself, breathing exercises, it gave me like tips and ideas to sort of just stay in the moment, because it can be hard. Like my mind starts racing sometimes depending on what environment or situation that I'm in. And one thing that I'm definitely learning is how like sensitive I am to my environment. Like I've learned I can't hang around with complicit people.
Complicit in what way?
Like as in if something were to happen and they're like, oh no, it's fine, don't worry about it. It's not. I cannot physically allow my energy to be in that space, because that's when my mind goes racing. I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, oh my God, these people aren't here for me. And then it starts reminding me of the past. And then I'm projecting that onto the future. Yes. And then it's like a vicious cycle. Yes, so like, I find it really interesting when I just talk about how do you stay present? Because I mean, if we were taught that everything is temporary, then I think it would make sort of the learning of it, the education, the psychoeducation of it easier. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think there's this kind of strange culture of anytime something happens, people catastrophize.
Yeah. No,
what's the word?
Catastrophize.
Girl, English. Listen, we are butchering the Queen's English.
Catastrophize.
Catastrophize, thank you.
Thank you.
Like people catastrophize things and like attach this kind of state of permanence to whatever's happening in the here and now. Yeah. But it's like if they kind of just grounded themselves, like you're saying, and centered themselves and realized that this is temporary, everybody would be a lot better off. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just very that. But I had a question for you, actually. How do you ground yourself?
I ground myself by deep breathing.
Okay.
Like literally, I'll do it anywhere. I literally will take 5 minutes. Like, even when I'm with people at work, I'll be like, let's go to the back. Okay. And I'll be like, breathe in. Shall we do it now, actually?
Okay.
Let's do some grounding. Okay, we're going to do some deep breathing. We'll only do like one.
Okay. Do I have to move off the chair or anything?
No, don't worry. Just
go.
sit up straight. Okay. I've noticed that I can only do it when my spine is straight. Like, I'm sure there's some science behind it, but I don't know. Okay, so we are going to breathe in for 3, hold for 3, and then breathe out for 3. Okay.
Listeners do this as well.
Yeah, listeners do this well. Ground yourself with me. Okay. 3, 2. Oh, I know. Okay. So breathe in for 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Breathe out for 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
I'll do that 3
Okay.
times.
Sick. Okay, cool.
Another tool, especially for like those coping with anxiety. I can't remember what it is specifically, but it's like you have to name 5 things that you see
In the room.
5 things that you see in a room, 4 things that you can smell, or 3
Yes.
things. Like basically, you have to go onto your senses to sort of bring you back down.
Yeah.
And not be in that elevated
Yeah,
state.
I do that sometimes as well, to be fair. But no, yeah. Another thing I was actually going to say was, what does enlightenment look like to you? Because we were talking about spiritual enlightenment when you're talking about the book, The Power of Now. Like, what does...
Ooh, that's a big question. Wow.
And you know what's so funny? This is something that was on my mind last night because I listened to a podcast. I'm sure quite a few of you listen to it, called The Friend Zone. So you know, Hey Fran Hey. She's very do you know? Are you familiar?
I feel like I recognise that name.
Yeah,
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah. But Hey Fran Hey, she does a lot of like spiritual work and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Kind of in very similar to the stuff that like Mariam Hasnea does in a way, because they work together on something called an activation tour. But anyway, I'm digressing. So Hey Fran Hey was talking in an episode. I think the episode was titled "Be Here Now," about enlightenment.
Yeah.
And what does enlightenment look like to you, and what does enlightenment feel like? And when I was thinking about, like, you know, as the listener, I was thinking, what does enlightenment look and feel like to me? It was that kind of same thing about separating my past, my present, and my future, and I'm not allowing the separate states to enmesh. And I feel like that to me is a really good way of putting it, because, you know, when we're talking about shadow work, it allows me to kind of do the work of the darker parts of my person.
Exactly.
To get to the bottom of why I feel the things I feel, and why I feel the need to bring past trauma into present situations.
It's like, why am I burdening my past self with this?
Yeah.
No, my present with this.
Literally.
Well, in response to your question, I'd say spiritual enlightenment looks to me like, well, no, it looks to me like I don't know if looks is the right word, but it's to me, it feels like clarity.
Okay.
It feels like I can breathe, like I can breathe in, I can breathe out, and I'm rested, like I'm relaxed. It's quite mad that you were talking about shadow work as well, because there's this card. I'll see if I can find it.
Okay.
In tarot, it's called Temperance, and it's major arcana. So the major arcanas are basically cards, they're like showing major themes throughout an individual's life. Anybody can go through these themes. It's just a very like... It's basically sort of bridging the gap between spiritual and physical, and the artist has depicted it as putting your toes in water.
Okay.
And how do you feel when I know this sounds odd, but how do you feel when your toes are like in water?
Well, the thing
like
is,
on the beach or something.
I haven't been to the beach in years, but from what I remember, it was calming. But like, I was gonna say, the last time it's happened to me was in the shower this morning. So I was like, which isn't quite the same. So I don't know. Like, I don't really remember the feeling clearly enough of having being like grounded in the sand and having, like the water just kind of wash over your feet. I don't really remember that feeling clear enough to be able to articulate it well right now.
No, it's fine. I just thought I'd ask.
I can imagine it feels like a nice grounding
the last
feeling.
time that I was on holiday, I went to Barcelona and we were on the
was
beach.
this last year?
Yes. I was on the beach and it was so beautiful because I kept on seeing images that reminded me of this deck, and that even grounded me. Do you know what I mean? That was like, oh my God, I'm living my best life. Like, oh my God, this is confidence, this is energy, this is me relaxing, enjoying, just simply existing. And it was so beautiful to do it with like such good friends of mine as well. I can't actually find the card, but it's not that deep. Like, I'll show it to you sometime, or I'll like take a picture and put it on the episode. But another thing I wanted to talk to you about within confidence is how do you find confidence?
How do I find it?
Yeah. Have I asked you that already?
In a different way, but I think I have an answer for you.
Okay.
Because I feel like I didn't articulate myself as well as I wanted to.
Oh, no worries.
But I think for me with confidence, it's like I'm very comfortable with myself. Do you know what I mean? And because I'm comfortable with myself, nobody can really take me out of my character.
Yeah.
And I feel like because I'm so kind of rooted and have such a strong sense of self no matter where I go.
Ooh, yes.
Like, at work, with friends, I'm the same Kanem. Yes, I have different facets of my person, but I'm still the same person. Okay. So because of that, I kind of know that, like, you can't fuck with me. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm a fucking vibe.
Yeah,
like,
I'm a fucking vibe. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like I don't...
Maybe I should articulate this question differently. So you've talked about how you find confidence, but on an emotional and spiritual level. Emotional, spiritual, sort of mentally as well. How do you find confidence physically?
Ooh.
How does it materialize? Tell me that.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh, she's got questions.
Yes.
Okay, so oh God, that's a good question. Through fashion.
Yes.
Through
Oh my God, I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah,
Honestly,
through fashion,
literally
I think so, yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
I think like it's so weird how like well not weird but like beautiful how like
Of course,
literally
yeah.
just putting on a sick outfit gives me energy,
Yeah.
gives me like nobody can tell me nothing.
Yeah.
Like
literally.
I think it's it's sort of like a mindful activity that obviously like you externalize for like express for everyone else.
Yeah,
It's
of
like your
course.
own self-expression.
Yeah.
However, there's something so like enriching about it as well.
Yeah. And for me, it's like if you like, obviously we have a lot of mutual friends, but if like I know some people that listen to us will probably know me or personally or whatever, but well, if you ask people, oh, you know, who is Kane and whatever, I feel like for a lot of people, part of that description is, oh, he's very stylish, or he looks after himself or whatever. Because for me, it affirms me. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a form, it's an extended part of my person, the clothes I wear. So it's like that is my confidence materializing. Because right now I'm in a kimono it's a women's kimono, but I'm still rocking it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 'cause you're a fucking vibe.
Thank you. But it's like
I know.
but it's like like that for me is confidence like materialized.
Where did you learn that, or is that something that you've always had?
Where did I learn to kind of use fashion as a tool to express creativity and confidence? I think I've always had it in me, but because my older sister, she does a lot of fashion design.
Amazing.
And like, she probably doesn't know this, but when she hears this, she will. She influenced me like a lot, like in terms of like being around somebody who makes things all the time. There's a lot of design, and even as a child, I used to love doing fashion sketches for design and stuff. So fashion's always been like that kind of common thread in my life. Like I've always loved to kind of take fashion into dance, take fashion into even science, which is why I do the degree I do. Like,
tell the people about your degree.
Oh my God, I didn't even.
Yeah, I don't even think we talked about
that. Shit, then. Okay, so I'm a chemistry student. So I originally wanted to kind of go into material science for fashion. Like, you know, so fashion's always been there. It's always been, it's a constant in my life. You know what I mean? It just shows up in different ways. But in this phase of my life, fashion for me is kind of like, you know, taking clothes and using them as an extension of my person. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it reflects my mood, kind of, you know, like in a way, like
100%. Like literally, even when I'm feeling my lowest points, like I'll wear the brightest colors. And like when I want to feel more grounded, I'll be based all in green. When I want to feel like more flirty and like sensual, it will be a lot of like. Oh, I like. Do you know what? I was about to say a lot of red. That's a lie. It's complete latex. Over the past like. Maybe a month or so, I've just been getting into latex. I've got literally about 5 different things. It used to be velvet, and now I'm obsessed with latex. So
I love that.
I shall be pulling looks very, very shortly.
I'm ready. I will be reposting all of them.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Insta's not ready.
Insta's not ready for the fire.
No.
But yeah, no, like for me, like fashion's just been that thing, like I guess, because for me, like it's taken a while to get to this point of confidence. Yeah. Especially like I'm now 21, but it's like when I was 13, 14, I wouldn't have necessarily felt as comfortable wearing the stuff that I wear right now.
So when you were 13, 14, were you faking it until you made it? Or were you just like quite introverted?
No, I was never an introverted. I was always an extroverted person. Yeah. But the older I get, the more I realize that maybe I'm more introverted than I thought I was. Yes. And I say that because when I was younger, I thought I was the shit. Like when I was like,
a vibe.
Yeah,
from
you know what I mean?
Early.
Literally, like especially I went to a performing arts school, so it's kind of like
how was that? Surrounded by so much creativity.
Yeah, I was surrounded
by so many people who are they if they aren't confident, it's going to like sort of
it affects their chances, basically.
Exactly.
Because
it's such a young age. That's quite critical to their development. Like whether that's internally or like,
Yeah, but like for me, being like like early teens and stuff, I was a dancer. That was like what I did. So it's like because I was so talented, it gave me confidence because I knew I walk into an audition, I go somewhere, I'm fine. Do you know what I mean? And like there's that aspect to it. So for me, like the way in which my confidence has been expressed has shifted over the years. Yeah. But back then it was confidence expressed through dance and the way I could use my body, and my body did whatever I wanted to. I could flip it around. I could, do the splits, click my legs over my head. Whatever. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, like...
That reminds me, you need to show me how to death drop at some point.
I'm screaming.
Please.
I will. But remember, ballroom time, it's a dip.
Ow.
It's a dip, remember. It's a dip. All 5 elements. But,
okay.
Yeah, like for me, like going to performing arts school, it was just, it helps. And don't get me wrong, like we still obviously did like normal things like maths and English and da 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 da. Yeah. But I was in the dance studio at lunchtimes and things like that.
Yeah.
But
Hard worker.
I was
Always.
a hard worker, honey, going to that dance studio on the weekends all the time, like whatever. But yeah, that for me, I was always a very confident person.
Yeah.
Always. Like even people in primary school will tell you, like even then, it wasn't necessarily dance that I was using. It was my intelligence, you know what I mean? Because I was always a smart kid as well.
Yes.
I always did well in school. Like, it's like the confidence has always been there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, been fleshed out in different ways and different formats.
Yeah, well, it just shows you how multifaceted you are.
No, I try.
It's mad because the thing is, like, externally I was very confident.
Okay.
Or you'd assume that I'd be very confident. However, when I was younger, I had really, really low self-esteem.
Right.
And then it got to, like, I guess I was like 16, got to 17, and then I was like, no, I'm not having this anymore.
Yes.
I'm the fucking shit.
So what changed? What changed there? What was that shift? What was that?
The shift, I guess, was going through some shit. It also was being... It's sorry, I don't know how to word this.
You know that meme where the guy's like, and the love is, and the love is.
Basically, it wasn't... I was drained. I was physically, like, I think, I mean, everybody experiences having low self-esteem.
Right.
But then I think sometimes, I don't know, if people are as proactive with their mental health as me, or like maybe they do it in different ways.
Right.
I just got tired of it. I got tired of feeling so low all the time. So I was like, you know what, you're going to aggressively love yourself. So I would... Well, I guess whether that be fashion or whether it's like speaking up for myself, whether that's not like backing in the corner. Like I'm full on fire. Like I'm an Aries sun, Leo moon. Like I've all the energy in the world. Actually, wait, let me go back on my phone right now. So, you know how we were talking about moons and horoscopes and etc.?
Okay.
So, a Leo moon in tarot is the strength card. No, so it's the strength card is Leo, and that's depicted as a lion. And when we think of lions, they're very courageous, but also they have to work a lot with their shadow self. So, it's like... even though they are courageous, it's like once burnt, twice shy. So that's something that I used to navigate when I was younger. And then when I was 17, it was more externalized than internal, if that makes sense. So let's say if I was battling with low self-esteem, low confidence, you wouldn't see it because I would never show it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's like, like how we started the episode, when you go home at night, that person is the person that we always want to be doing the work on. You know what I mean? That shadow work, like you're saying.
100%. I think it comes in stages, I guess. And I think as long as you're doing it in a healthy way, finding confidence, then you can't, you're flourishing, B.
Literally. And you know what, though? There's also no time scale, because, for instance, you're like that, when you're talking about that kind of turning point at the age of 16, that was, do you know what I mean? That was what, like, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
Now?
Oh, wait. How old am I? I forgot.
22.
No,
you're almost
yeah.
23 soon, but 22. So, like, what, 6-7 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
And, like, even for me, like, talking about... Okay, let me think of a turning point that kind of turned me into the person I am today. About 3 years ago. So when I was 18. Do you know what I mean? Like these turning points come at different times for different people.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Do you know what, that's actually so important? I want to get into this really quickly.
Yes, please.
So your 20s is so fluid. Like you cannot compare.
Decade.
You cannot compare your 20s. Some people out here got mortgages. Some people out here going to uni. Not in Boris's Britain. You mad? Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, some people have got mortgages. Yeah. Some people are unfortunately homeless. Some people are like having kids. Like it's honestly like no one you can't compare yourself to anybody in your 20s.
True.
You can't. You just literally need to do you and see what works.
And as a creative person, I struggle with that a lot.
Yes.
Because as somebody who here's the thing about being a creative. Creative people tend to be very confident people. They tend to be very assured people, publicly. But they also, every artist has a dark side, and everybody who does some kind of art, whether it be music, dance, fashion, whatever, has a dark side and demons that they battle and face in creating the art that they create.
Yeah.
And for me, for the longest time, I'm talking like my late teen years, I used to see like not friends, because I'm not a wizard, I don't do that, like all that bad mind shit, I don't do that. But like I used to see like peers, people of a similar age to me that was so much further along, or where I thought I should be or deserved to be for the amount of talent I had at the time or whatever. Yeah. And it's like I've kind of just managed to just managed to kind of let that go now.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't do anything for me. It just sends me into a downward spiral of self-doubt.
Literally.
Which I struggle with, used to struggle with anyway. Not so much now, but I used to struggle with a lot. Because I'd have a bunch of people around me telling me, oh my God, you're amazing. You can create, you do this, you dance. But I wasn't seeing what they saw in me. You know what I mean?
You just reminded me of something. So you know how we were talking about tips and tools, right? So I used to combat self-doubt quite a lot when I was younger.
Right.
Not as much as I do now, but what helped me start to manage that? Every time I notice myself doubting myself, or every time I criticize myself, I'll be like, I forgive myself. Like, I literally will say I forgive myself because
so is that like inner child, or are you in your present?
Yes. So let's say, as in, like, I'm walking about, a negative thought comes in my head, or comes into my space, and then I literally will say out loud, I forgive myself. Okay. And every time, it sounds really odd because I literally am just talking to myself whenever.
Let me ask you
but I can say I forgive myself every time it happens. So that self-doubt is temporary, but also it's acknowledged.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
But what are you forgiving yourself for? Because you're absolving yourself of something that you didn't cause. When a negative energy enters your space, why are you forgiving yourself?
No, as in, it's a comment that I've made in my mind. As in, so let's say, a self-doubt thought that I had, I'm not good enough.
Oh, damn, yeah.
So then I'd literally be like, I forgive myself.
I see,
because that is a past perception that's influencing my present now.
Yes.
So let me forgive myself for now and then go on.
Yes.
So it would come, so that would happen, and I'd keep on saying it. But after a few months, I just got into the habit of it, and I feel like now I've got this I don't even do it that much, and when I do, I'm just so gassed. I'm just
That's what we love to see, sister.
I love myself, you know.
That's what we actually love to see.
Yeah, no, I like it because I'm able to sort of give tools and tips. Oh, actually, I've got another one. Right. So, last year, I made this thing on my phone called Rules for Life.
Okay.
And this is basically, I note down loads of various things that have happened to me, or loads of things that I need to know to navigate my life. Obviously, life is life. It's so subjective. You exist, but I guess because it's an intimate thing that I do by myself and it helps me, I just do it. Nice. So number one, don't look at old messages.
Oh God, I was literally doing that this morning.
So number two, 8:24. And I'll write the date, the time. Sometimes I'll even write the outfit because then it will remind me of being that space. So I said 8:24/11 of May 2019, found confidence. And that reminded me of this time when I was literally walking down the street once, and I don't know why, but this wave of confidence and just supreme regal nature just flooded through me.
Bitch.
A badsy, always, just came to me, and I just literally felt sick, so I wrote it down.
Okay.
And over the past, so I started that before May last year, but I've now got more than 24 things that I've noted down, and sometimes I find myself spiraling or finding self-doubt or fighting self-doubt, or I like how I say fighting because there's an active word. Fighting self-doubt, and I'll just read this and then I'll be like, wait, no, I'm the shit. But then also,
don't forget it.
Exactly, but then also there's that sort of comfort in the sense if you need to sulk, you can sulk.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing, though. I think we kind of live in this time where there's this kind of culture of I call it terminal positivity, where everyone's kind of as soon as they get a negative thought, it's I'm not allowed to think this. I can't be jealous. I can't feel rage. I can't feel anxiety or anger. I have to be positive. I have to be nice all the time. Fuck it. Do you know what I mean?
Honestly,
get rid of it.
Fuck that.
Move.
I hate it when people
you know
are
what I mean?
oh my God, just be positive and it'll be fine. Don't get me wrong.
That.
I'm a positive person, but if I'm stressed and you come over to me with your positivity, how is that going to help me?
You know, it's
how?
And especially when it's be part of being present, and this is the common obviously thread that we've been talking about today, that presence and stuff. Part of being present is being very much in tune with how you feel at that time. So there's no need to mask one, or you shouldn't feel the need to mask one emotion with another. If you feel envy, if you feel rage, if you feel anxiety or something, don't then try to put on that theatre mask and be like, oh, it's all fine, it's great, because it's not. And it's going to catch up. It's going to create a backlog of emotions that will hit you.
Debt.
Yeah, it's an emotional debt, and it's going to hit you when you go to bed by yourself. I mean, if you have, a significant other, look at you, shit. But most of us are going to bed by ourselves. And the ones that are, we have to deal with that emotional backlog, that emotional debt when we get back.
Exactly.
You pay the price later. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
It's literally a debt for a reason. You pay the price later. So
do you know what I mean? So I just think, No, that is actually so
Very that.
important. As you were talking, I was actually starting to shuffle
Yes,
my
I see
tarot
her
deck.
shuffling a deck here.
I've got the same deck that I had last week. It's Kaleidodope Tarot by Crystal Bagger. She made beautiful, beautiful work.
Yeah, they look cool.
Inspired by African American pop culture.
Okay, cool.
So it's a lot of pop art. It's beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I shall.
Nice.
Let's get into it.
Okay, cool.
For this part of the tarot talks, we are taking it into handheld for the video so we can showcase some of the cards today. Whilst I'm shuffling this deck, I would like you, Kanem, to think of some questions to ask spirit, to ask guidance, to, I don't know, whether it's related to confidence. Well, yeah, it's related to confidence, but like whether it's related to finding confidence, maybe how to implement it or finding another perspective of how I can use an emotion to fuel my confidence. Yeah, just think of ways for some questions. I'm just going to shuffle the cards as so. Can you hear that? Shh, shh, shh. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to put this card back in. And if it pops out again, it is a message. A very, very big message. Okay, actually. Okay, I want you to just shuffle it once. We've also got rose quartz in here. This crystal, I want to say, promotes healing. It also cleanses the deck. And I just put it on my cards to, well, for that reason, exactly.
I definitely couldn't work in a casino because the way I shuffle these cards, it's just...
Don't you worry.
Mate.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to get like your energy on the cards too.
Nice.
So amazing. What is your first question?
Okay, so my first question is, how does one find balance? Yeah, how does one find balance?
Ooh.
No?
Spirit spoken. Spirit spoken.
Okay.
Okay. So how does one find balance? Amazing. And the next question I want to ask is, what is Spirit's advice to me, to us, of being able to show confidence in ways that we haven't processed yet? So let's say for me, I'm very confident in my outfit choices, how I articulate myself to my friends, but that might be different professionally. It might be I'm a bit more nervous when I go towards my career, or whether I go to something in the a bit more like a sort of serious line of life. So yeah, please can I have some guidance for that, Spirit? Ooh. Okay, interesting. Right, so we've got two cards out. One is a Major Arcana and one is the Six of Swords, reversed. The Major Arcana card that we've chosen is the third deck in the card, but it's numbered 2. Right, it's the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a black woman in a blue gown. She also has box braids, and the braids have actually been wrapped around her head, at the center of her head, to look like a crown. So that's supposed to resemble the crown chakra. We see the lady looking off into the distance, and if you want to have maybe a bit of a zoom in there, you can even see her eyes are the galaxy, and she's surrounded by a galaxy. What do you see when you interpret this card? What does this card, like, what do you think this means to you?
I went straight to like the style of the dress. I was
Ooh,
like,
yes! Fashion always.
Literally, can you tell my brain? My
always.
fashion makes my brain tick. I'm screaming. I was just looking at the dress because for me, like, obviously, I can't interpret a tarot card, but
Anyone can interpret a tarot card. That's what I like.
Really?
I think it's that whole idea of what I see, you might not see. I say this with all my tarot readings. Like, it's very general and intuitive. Like, I can get something that you don't get, or you can get something that I get. So I like knowing about our various opinions because it sort of gives us a more rounded message for the collective.
I don't really know what I get from it, you know? Like, I don't know. Like,
no, it's cool. I'll tell you a bit about the card.
Please, yes.
So the High Priestess is divine feminine energy.
Okay.
She knows herself. She is... how do I explain it? She's sort of like a force within her. she's guided by her subconscious, so she might get psychic messages through her dreams, or hit through auditory, or through like perception with her eyes. She is a woman who is, her head might be in the clouds, however, it's to do with intuition, creativity, sort of like I'm trying to think. So you know Mariam Hanza. She's very strong with the energy between the spiritual and the physical world. She is able to use her space right now as a light worker, as a healer, to join the two together. I'll look to the booklet for more information. But yeah, no, I think it's such a gorgeous mads. Right. Sorry, I just picked up the book for, basically with tarot, you get the deck of cards and then you get a book which has all the meanings, all the keywords, all the descriptions, etc. And the Six of Swords, which I picked out the second time, just flew out. Okay. So I'm just going to leave that there. So, the High Priestess. The High Priestess stares off into space as she is in her own world, her own zone in her own galaxy. She represents a connection to the divine and something you can't quite put a hand on. There is an air of awe and misty surrounding energy. So when we see upright, it says activated crown, third eye chakra, spirituality, secrets, intuitive, mystery, privacy, deep knowing, otherworldly. The crown, as in that's represented by her box braids, represents the connection to the crown chakra or one's higher self and the hidden knowledge that she possesses. Blue also represents truth, meaning that she's adorned to her blue robe in her hands, are being symbolized by a secretive nature. There are truths she knows but will never tell. The galaxy is to do with wonder, discovery, and mystery surrounding the feminine's energy. The High Priestess is not only a part of the universe, but the universe is part of her. So you said earlier, I think your question was, how do you find balance? What was it?
Exactly. How do you find balance?
How do you find balance? And I guess the High Priestess encourages us to find other means of getting that balance, whether that be journaling our dreams and looking for that interpretation, or using our intuitive nature to do things that are going to feed our soul. I'd say because it's the crown chakra, that's more to do with like, how do I explain this? Let me get it up really quickly. What are you getting from the card so far?
I'm still kind of where I was like a few minutes ago. Like, I don't know. Like,
I think when I talk about the second card, I'm going to be more intrigued about it.
Okay. Wait, so is this spirit also answering about balance as well? This card, the Six of Swords.
Well, I mean, with tarot, you kind of tell a story. So the fact that we've got the High Priestess and then the Six of Swords in reverse suggests to me that well, actually, you know what? Let me go into the Six of Swords first. So when we look at swords, we talk about our mental realm. So that is talking about like your opinions, your beliefs, your thoughts, your sort of anything to do in your mental capacity. The Six of Swords is depicted as a moving truck with like a moving truck. They've got boxes in the truck that you can see. You also have a blue sunny day. So that's going to be like balance, peace. You can also see baggage that's been loaded onto the truck, about to move away. So because it's Six of Swords, it's sort of like a mental journey and leaving a situation. However, we've got it in reverse. So that can suggest various things to do with not wanting to change, or plans being delayed, or falling into old patterns, doubting decision to move on, etc. Even though there's a beautiful sky and that's positivity there, it can tell us that we're not we're not implementing the change of perspective that has been brought to us, because it's something that we're learning within the major arcana, because this is like a theme of your life, and this is like a narrow facet of day-to-day life. So with the Six of Swords, it might be well, in combination, the cards are suggesting to me that the High Priestess is using her intuitive nature to really ground herself and knowing herself. But because she's so otherworldly, like she's literally got the galaxy in her eyes, it's so intimate to her. The Six of Swords is sort of encouraging you to stick with it. You know? If you think about the High Priestess is in trusting your, like, your intuition to its core, but then not actually following that, not even trusting that. We were talking about confidence a lot, and maybe it suggests that we're sort of doubting our capability, even though we are the source, you know?
Sounds about right.
Hey.
Yeah.
I've actually got some more information of the High Priestess. Let me just get it up for you. I use this website called Teach Me Tarot because even though I'm a tarot reader, I've been doing it for like maybe a year and a half now. I still want to like do loads of courses, do loads of training because it's just something like the more that you learn is the more you realize how much you don't know.
Yeah.
So I love how much reflection, how much education I'm getting from it.
Yeah.
So, right. It says here, so I'm going to tell you some associated keywords. So, inner work, spirituality, counseling, advice, hidden agendas, moods, past lives, germination of ideas and plans, inner potential, realizing your talents and gifts. That's very, very, very interesting. Just because it's also associated with the moon, and we were talking a lot about our moon signs and shadow work. So this is really appealing to the fact that we need to look more in, maybe be even driven a bit more by our subconscious to see identifying our wants and desires and making sure that they're being implemented in a way that we're thinking in a way that we can obtain them. Because unless we aren't thinking them, unless we're not thinking in that way, that means it will not materialize. But we have the power, we have the source to do that. So yeah, what do you get from these cards? How do you get from that message that I've just told you?
Like, I think for me that's very on time in that you were talking about this is obviously a very broad theme in my life. This is a narrow facet because both are accurate. Like, I think, no, I do. I've always been told I have like gravitas and a certain strength to me, maybe, or a certain magnetism, which is kind of, or charisma, you can even call it.
Yeah.
Which has kind of seen me through in situations or given me opportunities that I didn't necessarily think I was deserving of because of that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
But that imposter syndrome,
that is so real.
do you know what I mean? Circles back to that, obviously, the Six of Swords, you know, carrying that baggage. Kind of even in that kind of sphere of positivity and stuff like that, still feeling, you know, self-doubt, carrying emotional baggage, things like that. That shows up in the form of imposter syndrome or self-doubt when I'm doing my shadow work or, you know, even when we're talking about that hyper-awareness, kind of overthinking everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To the point where it totally stops me from doing something.
Yeah.
And it gives me inertia moving forward and stops me from wanting to do other things.
I think something beautiful about like shadow work or like inner work in general. I think the fact that it's intimate, it's yours, and it's something that I can do in the privacy of my own home. That is gonna benefit me, and that is also gonna benefit the people that I surround myself with. So like, I love going to therapy. I love doing tarot. I love having supportive friends that accept me as a whole because I'm able to identify. I'm able to like sort of identify like. Parts that need to grow, but I can grow because I'm allowing myself to. You know, how do you How do you find? How do you navigate inner work?
How do I navigate inner work?
Yeah. Sorry, that's a bit of a broad question, isn't it?
I'm just thinking of it. I think for me, it's pinpointing why I feel the way I feel at the time. So if I feel really, really happy or really sad about something, you know, like most of the time I kind of try to maintain a state of neutrality, if you will, where I can. Obviously, I'm a human. I feel happiness and I feel sadness. I feel extreme highs and extreme lows. But I like to kind of pinpoint, no matter what I'm feeling, why I feel the way I feel, and what's taken me there, and like what specific turn of events has taken me to the place that I'm in now. That to me is inner work, because it means that I'm always aware and I'm always in tune with, you know, my frequency and what's going on in kind of, let's say if you pretend there's an aura around your person, what's going on in my aura, my bubble, my sphere of communication. But that to me is the inner work. But also on the other side of that, being in tune with the negative parts of myself and the parts of myself that people don't like, because I'm
a lot of reflection in this card, in this reading,
Sorry?
isn't it? A lot of reflection,
Yeah,
like, because
yeah.
like the High Priestess is so to do with like your subconscious and like who your intuitive nature, and then the Six of Swords is literally sort of like going backwards. It's like going backwards, but like mentally. However, because it's a minor arcana, because it's like a narrow facet of life,
Right.
now we can identify tools to change that and move forward.
Yeah.
Forward ever, backwards never.
True, very that. But yeah, no, like it's just like being in tune with oneself and all that stuff. But no, I'm here for that.
As you were talking, I'm basically just shuffling some more cards because I just want some clarity on what this message is saying. So, higher power, spirit, please could you give us another card to give us some clarity in identifying what these two cards mean for us as well as the collective. Oh, everything's falling. No, I've got it.
She got it?
I got it good.
Has she got it?
Yes. Okay.
Cool.
Oh, okay. So we've just got the Three of Swords for anyone who has tarot. I'll let you have a little zoom in. So the Three of Swords is to do with heartbreak or heart, like I say it's piercing.
Lord.
Caden's face has dropped. Caden's face has literally just dropped.
Woo! Okay.
Challenge me today. No, I'm joking.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm out. No, I'm joking. So basically, no, don't be intimidated by the cards. It's A-okay. It's A-okay.
No,
I
I'm
like
joking.
it because the thing is, like, tarot steps on so many different aspects of life, right? So I like how it's able to do it. Again, this is shadow work. Do you know what I mean? This is like something that I can be like, okay, let me take this as a perspective or something that I need to work on, you know? So the Three of Swords talks about a heart-piercing pain, right? And the fact that it's come from Six of Swords and the High Priestess suggests to me that there's something that we may need to reflect on or go back into the past or work in our subconscious to sort of identify, because this needs to be healed. If we got it upside down, it would be like rehabilitation, you know? Did I say that right?
Rehabilitation.
That's the one that I was going to say. However, we've got it upright, and both of those are swords, and you've got a 6 and a 3, so there's a power in threes right now.
That's always been my number because my birthday is the 3rd of the 3rd.
Oh, really?
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just...
How mad is that?
Do you know what I mean?
So this year, I think it was actually Mariam Hamza. This year, she posted this thing, or it might have been someone else, I can't remember, but apparently 333 is my, like... number. Like, if I see, that's the thing that I'm seeing all the time.
I wonder what mine is. I don't know what mine is. But anyway, I'll look at it.
You'll find out.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link. Actually, no, it wasn't Crystal. It wasn't Mariam Hamza. It was Crystal Planner.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so everything is connected.
Nice.
When we look at the Three of Swords, I'm just going to get me journal out.
Yeah.
So, Three of Swords, right. It says that a red balloon symbolizes the color of love. Once the balloon is pierced, it pops, creating the shape of a broken heart. This exhibits the feelings expressed at the time, along with sorrow, disappointment, and betrayal. This could also signify feeling like your world is collapsing or a sense of relief after holding in suspicions or emotions for a long time. Releasing this pain can create for tremendous healing. Damn. Okay, now we're gonna go rewind, right?
Wait a second.
So. We've got the High Priestess. She talks about reflection. She talks about our subconscious. Six of Swords suggests that we're not moving forward. We need to go back. We need to reflect. We actually need to take this decision to move on. However, we might need to go backwards to understand what needs to be mended for us to implement the source or connect back to the source.
Dios
However,
mío,
because the High Priestess is upright, it tells me that there is like not just a lesson, but there's like something really necessary for this like personal development that we're going through. So like, even though she's a mysterious woman and she knows a lot, she never tells because of her secretive and intuitive nature. There's something about her that makes me think that. So I'm just reading again. It says following your inner path. It says reflection and solitude. Maybe it's encouraging us to do more inner work. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm literally like, ooh, am I getting dragged? Continue.
I just think it's mad. Something needs to be healed.
Mm-hmm. I know. I mean, I'm not about to talk my business, but I mean,
let me not infringe myself.
I mean, you know this already because we're friends, but like, yeah, I know what it. I think I know what it is.
Ooh,
I think I know
interesting.
What it is. I know what it is.
But that's the thing, because obviously I'm doing the reading for you, but I'm doing it for the collective. So there's something that a part of me in there. The fact that I touched these cards, gave them to you, is my energies there.
Yeah.
So I guess what I want to take from this message is something that needs to be healed will only be acquired within solitude and inner work, inner reflection. And then that's when we will take the decision to move on. And sort of, follow our own path. I think it's a lot to do with trust and trusting yourself, finding the confidence in yourself to move forward.
You know what it is for me though? It's like, it's not even because I trust myself.
Yes.
It's that I don't always trust the intentions of others.
Okay.
And especially because I've been put in positions. Ooh, shook the mic there. Shaking the table. No, I've been put in positions in the past with friends and family alike where I've been forced to question their character because of positions that they've put me in. That do you know what I mean? Like whether it's being lied to, being deceived. Do you know what I mean? Things like that come up quite frequently.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, it's not trusting my intention in so much as allowing myself to trust the intentions of others. And again, meet them where they are.
Yes.
So that we can move on. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm trying not to take the past into my present.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
It's mad how you literally said not to take the past in, and now we've got the Six of Swords, which literally says a decision to move on.
Shoka, that's the thing. I kind of moving on for me, like. Yeah, it's something I kind of battle with all the time.
Yeah, that's something I need to work on as well.
Because I'm always told by other friends that I have as well, like kind of like, oh, you know, like you're well within your rights to feel this way about this thing and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's fine, I'll just move on, you know. And I try to, but because I have a lot of voices around me telling me, no, don't move on. Like it's kind of like
it's weird because there's a part of me that like. I want to move on, but then also I'm not going to move on just because I have learned so much in the situation that I've adapted now. Like I wasn't the same person that I was before this. So how am I supposed to move on when this is now my new?
And you know what as well? There's also comfort in feeling negative emotions sometimes. There's comfort in it because...
Well, you're alive.
Yeah, exactly. You're literally... Like, there's a really good relationships therapist called Esther Perel. And she defines, people think of eroticism in this very sexual sense, and it's really not that. She defines eroticism as feeling alive, as feeling emotions in their truest form, whether it be anger, whether it be jealousy, sadness, rage, just, you know what I mean? Like feeling it in the truest sense. That to her is eroticism because it means that you're alive. Do you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, I guess that's like a part of it. But like, yeah, for me, like, it's comfortable almost feeling a negative emotion because it can explain. It's almost like you have something to blame in a way. Do you know what I mean? Because part of doing shadow work, you kind of have to take responsibility for some things that happen, and it's not always easy to do that when you have to self-criticize. So it's easy to go, I feel like this
where's
because
that healthy
this happened
boundary of allowing yourself to be, being annoyed at yourself, or allowing to be critical enough for you to be like, oh, this wasn't right. But then there needs to be a boundary, there needs to be a line there before it goes into self-deprecating words, behaviours, etc.
That's the discernment. That's where that discernment has to come in. And also filling your communication sphere with people that have a discerning spirit so
100%.
that they can cover the blind spots that you maybe haven't gotten to yet.
Oh, 100%.
Like for me, my blind spot a lot of the time is friendships and some close friendships and relationships because I always want to see the best of people.
Yes.
So I have discerning friends around me that can kind of go,
Yeah,
that's not what we're doing here. Do you know what I mean?
Literally, I'm not sure if I said this last week again, but honestly, I've got this one friend, Milo, again, Bob.
Hey.
Literally, she's a Virgo.
Hey, Virgo moon?
I hang around
because I'm a Pisces
Virgo sun.
Okay,
Virgo
right,
sun. I hang around with them. I literally have at least 7 Virgo friends, like minimum. Like I need them to ground me.
Honestly.
So literally, let's say something will happen to me and I'm like, oh no, it might not be that bad. She'll see a situation and be like, nah, that doesn't serve me. Why? She trusts her intuition so much. She doesn't need to find out why. And I think that's so fucking powerful. That's something that I want to learn. That's something that I want to implement in my life because it will lose so much time and not time. It will like, well, I won't waste time hurting.
Right.
You know? Like I'll just be and trust myself and then go on to the next thing.
You know what, for me, I think I'm at that place where it's like I can kind of discern who and, you know, what is and isn't for me or are and aren't for me. But for me, I kind of struggle with scaling that back. I don't need to necessarily let people know. Like, for instance, if I walk into a room and I'm just not getting the right energy,
Yeah.
I don't need to kind of, I don't know, go off and just be antisocial or whatever. I can still interact with those people, but just have that wall up between me and them. Do you know what I mean?
I think boundaries
not being
are
loud
important.
about it. Yeah.
Boundaries are very important to be healthy.
And also for me, like, it's quietly setting the boundary. I don't need to be loud about
not
setting
every
the
day
boundary.
like, oh yeah, I'm gonna cancel you, motherfucker.
That's literally, and that's for me where
drag to me 16-year-old self.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at now in my life. Like, setting boundaries, but setting them quietly and not having to be loud about the things that I don't like.
Again,
Do you
shadow
know what I mean?
work.
Shadow work, yeah, because that's something I know I need to work on and have been working on. I think I'm getting there.
Yes.
Definitely. Like, yeah.
Yes to personal development.
Exactly.
Yes to growth.
Because I think I'm a very, very good communicator and always have been.
Yeah.
But I'm sharpening the tool, do you know what I mean? To really get to that next level.
100%.
Yeah.
The thing is with me, I'm good at processing my boundaries. I'll say yes and I'll say no.
Yeah.
However, I never say in middle.
Yeah.
So if I can just find some more confidence in articulating why, not necessarily everyone needs to, but articulating the fact that I don't need, not every day snip. Do you know what I mean? Like, let me tell you.
Move accordingly, act accordingly.
Exactly. Like, 100%.
Like, acting accordingly is literally the move. Like,
this is amazing. Thank you so much.
No
problemo. I think we can call an end to our tarot reading. Okay. So we are back in normal perception camera now. We just did some handheld video for the tarot reading, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. I'm really, really happy with this reading.
Yes.
We took a lot from it, and we're coming to an end of our podcast. I want to say, number one, first off, thank you so much for coming on. You are definitely coming back. We've
already
got
know.
so much to unpack.
Yes, we do. Yes,
we do. And it's been beautiful having you on, Kano.
And don't get me wrong, spiritual, but I'm still a messy bitch at heart. So when I come back, we'll come in with some tea.
Yes, I love to hear it. So basically, for the last bit of the last segment, it's called the direct message. And this is like a take-home message to listeners, something that you can just like sort of tell listeners, tell the audience about whether it's from the tarot reading, whether it's from the other segments when we talked about confidence. What do you want to leave messages on? Leave a message for listeners on.
So when I spoke about Hey Friend Hey earlier and Mariam Hasnaya and how they look at the ideas of enlightenment, and even Eric Tolle, was it?
Yes.
Eric Tolle? And
yes.
like his book. His book?
Yes,
his book. I want you guys to think about themes of enlightenment and separating your past, your present, and your future, and not enmeshing them all. Because if you think about your future too much, you're anxious, and if you think about your past too much, you're taking past you're basically traumatized in a way.
Yeah,
because
you're bringing your trauma with you.
Bringing your trauma with
you.
you.
A piggyback.
Exactly. And we're trying to get to that higher state of self.
Yeah.
So just trusting your intuition, using that discerning spirit to know, the people and things that are supposed to align with your purpose, and then acting accordingly as well. Not everything needs to be 0 and then 100. Some people can be 20, some can be 40, some can be 75.
Tell them.
Do you know what I mean? Act accordingly, because that's one thing that I had to find in setting boundaries.
Yeah,
because
same.
There are people tend. It's almost animalistic, almost the way that people take where and when they can, more so than they give. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So you need to act accordingly and just, that's the move.
100%. Oh, that's beautiful. I want to tell listeners that your confidence will look different to my confidence.
Yes.
Whether that is me like looking cute, or whether that is you making a various form of art, whether that's someone, I don't know, going for a run. Like everybody's confidence is it's all subjective, but it's intimate to them.
Yeah.
And I think because sometimes we compare and contrast, we think that we are less than, and that shouldn't be the case. Like the high conscious says, the high priestess says, is following your own path. So that's something that I really want to encourage people to do. I think that it's such a fun journey learning about yourself.
Yes.
And when people realize that solitude is so like,
freeing.
Preach.
Freeing.
It's freeing.
It's freeing, yeah.
It's so freeing. So do your thing, sis.
And one more thing as well, like, because obviously we've been talking about like confidence and enlightenment and kind of like mixing the two in.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say to a lot of people is that we're kind of in this climate at the minute where people think that going on a social media detox for a week or two is going to suddenly bring them this level of clarity or whatever. And I'm not saying it never will, but it's going to be temporary. Okay. It's temporary, like everything. It's temporary.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to the point, you know, tuning in with our shadow self, our shadow work, our moon, you know, the moon side of our horoscope
horoscopes,
chart. We're trying to basically look at ways to keep, like, you know, stable amidst all the mess. That's what we're doing, you know?
Yes.
So with that, get in tune with how you're feeling and why you feel that way.
Yes.
Because, you know, I know a lot of people that kind of that disappear from social media for weeks at a time.
Yes.
And then come back, you know, they're okay for a week or two and then they do it again.
Yeah.
It's like there's no permanence there because that doesn't work. Being offline, you still need to do the shadow work when you're offline.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And shadow work is so, like, it's different for everyone. Like, whether that's you going to therapy, whether that's you journaling, whether that's you getting some tarot cards and using it as tools for reflection, just find your thing and do it.
Exactly.
I think, like, that's just so important. Like, I think just taking the time out for yourself to learn more about yourself. It's so important and it's so fun. Go do it, guys.
You know, because like, again, in this kind of climate of, you know, comparing and contrasting, affecting your confidence, disappearing offline for a couple of weeks, it's only going to help you so much. You've got to do the shadow work, baby. But
okay. Oh, thank you so much, Kanem. That was such a beautiful take-home messages.
No problem.
And thank you guys all for listening. This is Sarah, your host of DM Talks. And Kanem, could you like give us your socials? Where can people find you, motherfucker?
Okay, cool. So Instagram, it's literally just my name and surname, full government, Kanem Roach, KanemRoach. So yeah, if you want to see what confidence looks like, go to my Instagram profile.
Yes, tell them. If you want to see some inspo, some cute summer looks, we're gonna do hot people summer
I'm
right
telling
here.
you, and don't try to follow me on Twitter because I won't accept you if I don't know you.
But that's
sorry.
Stay continued on.
We talk shit on there, but find me on Instagram. Say hello. Let me know what you thought of the episode too.
Yes. I really. So actually, that's something that I definitely want to say. Like, I've got an email running. It's called dmtalks@gmail.co.uk. If you guys, well, actually, that's a lie. Let me rework that. So I've got an email called dmtalks@gmail.com. If you ever want to nominate things for the divine, if you ever want to have a suggestion of something that you want to talk about on the podcast, pull through. Like, even if you want to slide on my DMs, it's dm.talks. I'm really excited to hear more from you. I'm your host, Sarah Darian Moy. And yeah, it's been a vibe.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.